Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine a game where there are literally no losers, right? No finish lines and absolutely no crying kids.
Just, dirt under your fingernails.
Yes, and that sudden realization that a tree isn't just a hell of background decoration. That's really what we're exploring for you today. Okay, let's unpack this. Educators Kesser and Steen got entirely fed up with traditional competitions.
The ones that always inevitably end in tears.
Exactly. So they just ripped up the rules. They built this educational game focused purely on discovery in nature, known as Blad Bingo or Leaf Lottery.
Right, and what's fascinating here is how redefining a game totally shifts a child's worldview. I mean,
Yeah.
two 11-year-old boys actually coined the English name Leaf Lottery.
Wait, 11-year-olds named it.
Yeah, and it starts with a ridiculously simple premise, just identifying different leaves. Think about the trees on your own street, Do you honestly know the difference between a deciduous leaf and a pine needle?
I mean, if you live in a city, probably not.
Right, exactly.
It's really the difference between treating nature like a passive zoo, where you just sort of stare at animals in cages, versus a dynamic living environment. Kesser and Steen's philosophy argues that we've kind of become trapped in that passive zoo mentality.
Yeah, which brings us to the concept of the learning ladder. Once you step onto it, you just can't unsee the utility of nature. Like, take a birch tree.
Okay, a birch tree.
Initially, it's just this pretty Disney-fied decoration with twinkling lights. But climb that learning ladder, and you realize you can tap it for sugar sap,
Oh, well,
or chop it for firewood, or even grow mushrooms on its bark. It stops being a passive prop and totally becomes an active resource.
but to get kids to climb that ladder, you have to pull them out of that passive viewer mode. Like, how do we do that?
By engaging their physical senses. The Danish Scout Corps relies heavily on this. You can't just look at nature. You have to hear the bird, see the snail, touch the dirt.
Tactile learning?
Exactly. Holding a real spotted chestnut leaf in your hand beats looking at a blurry photo on an identification app any day.
I do have to push back a little here, though. Is this actually realistic for modern kids? I mean, think about the kids in your life. They often have these, 8-minute dopamine-driven attention spans.
Oh, absolutely.
When you let them out of a car, they act like Tasmanian devils, right? Screaming and scaring away every animal in a mile radius. Are we really expecting them to quietly inspect a chestnut leaf?
Well, that chaotic energy is precisely why the multisensory approach is mandatory.
Really?
Yeah, it short-circuits that quick dopamine loop. Physical, real-world stories anchor our memories. It's never just a leaf, it's tied to the environment.
Right.
Consider the story in our sources about a guy named Gunnar. He accidentally tore apart a live wasp nest with his bare hands while fetching firewood.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
It is, but that intense tactile interaction with nature, he is never going to forget what that wood felt like. The physical senses force the brain to pay deep attention.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Once those sensory details capture a kid's attention, they can start organizing that knowledge systematically.
Right.
Instead of clear-cutting a garden to collect every cool thing they see, a child picks just one leaf out of thousands, and they document the exact location and time they found it. This is the concept of a modern herbarium.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, noting exactly where you found a leaf and what else grows nearby, it reveals a massive amount about how the land is actually managed.
Because it isn't always untouched wilderness.
No, not at all. Danish nature, for instance, is highly curated. It's often described as a giant nursery run by the man in the green shirt.
Meaning the foresters and park rangers?
Yep, the ones who actively shape the ecosystem. And by documenting those surroundings, kids learn structured observation. They piece together the puzzle of the ecosystem themselves.
Rather than just hitting copy and paste on a computer keyboard and memorize facts for a test.
Exactly. It builds critical thinking.
So what does this all mean? Ultimately, Leaf Lottery is far less about winning a game and much more about using our physical senses to build a lasting cognitive map of the world. We trade the tears of a competition for the dirt under your fingernails joy of real discovery.
Yeah, that tactile discovery isn't just a fun activity. It is literally the biological key to deep memory and true learning.
Which leaves you with this provocative thought to ponder. If we know that tactile, multisensory experiences are the biological key to deep memory, how much of our screen-obsessed adult working lives are we instantly forgetting simply because our hands and senses aren't involved? Are you just wandering through a digital zoo? Welcome to today's deep dive.